I mean,
6.
Auburn, 10. I mean, whatever it is, we just not a very physical team. And in the SEC, you will die if you're not physical.
800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. Back to the kicking game for Alabama. Is it a lack of – it feels like this has been going on a while. Am I wrong? The field goal kicking has been suspect for a while for Alabama, and fumbling the 2 kicks. I know that's not necessarily towards the kickoff team, but that's more of an individual effort. But your thoughts? When I watch Alabama, that's the one thing, even back when Alabama was superior to everyone, winning 3 out of 4 national championships, 2 in a row in 11 and 12, still the kicking game was always suspect.
Yeah, rankings right now for Alabama through 3 football games, and this is out of 14 teams. Punting, 13. All right, that's a disappointment with J.K. Scott, who everybody felt like was going to be Mr. Ray guy. 13th out of 14th in his own conference. Punt return, 14th. Kickoff return, 10th when you can catch it, because they fumble a lot of them, and Alabama's fumbled a bunch. Field goals made, 14th, dead last. Field goal percentage, obviously, is dead last. Average starting field position for Alabama's offense, 14th.
Wow.
Field goal position differential. Field position differential means whether you're winning the field position, field battle, 14th. Dead last or next to last in almost every category in special teams. When your offense has poor field position starting out, what do you expect? And Jake Coker, let me tell you what I thought about Jake Coker. I thought he showed a little grit running the football, and that's what the announcers continued to say that night is, man, where's this been? You know, this was not in the scouting report. Well, he's a gamer. He gets in there. He was trying hard. I mean, Alabama fought hard. I will give Alabama this. There was twice in that game where they were left for dead, where they could have just packed it on in, fought back, made it a game. Where is that from Auburn? Is there a single Auburn fan out there that feels like you get down more than 17 points, you can come back? Does anybody out there feel like Auburn can come back from more than 17 points down? Alabama was down 20 twice and came back with 5 turnovers and had a chance to win the game. So, yeah, if you don't play mistake football, Alabama probably wins the game by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, they do.
All right, so I don't feel, if I'm an Alabama fan, I'm disappointed and lost the game, but I'm like, man, all we got to do is quit shooting ourselves in the foot. We'll be all right. We don't have any feet at Auburn. They're blown off. I mean, we're walking on nubs right now. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, offense is terrible. Defense is terrible. You don't know if your field goal kicker's any good. You can't get inside the 30-yard line to try one. I mean, he kicked, what was the first one he kicked this year, 50-something? I mean, he's 1 for 1. Isn't he 1 for 1?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just being, it's horrible. This is a team, this is the frustrating thing. This team was preseason ranked to win the conference and be a playoff team. And this looks like a big pile of Play-Doh in a big ball over here that hadn't been molded into anything yet. What have they been doing in summer? What were they watching when all the words coming out of camp? Man, you better wait till you see this. This is unreal. This defense is turned around. This defensive line is just unbelievable. They're giving all. And I will say this about Montravius Adams. He is playing some good football right now. He is being overshadowed by all the mediocrity out there on the defensive side of the ball. Those linebackers, I'm sorry. I know they're kids. Casanova McKenzie, he's okay. Where is Chris Frost? Somebody send out a missing persons bulletin. Where is he? Does he do anything in a football game other than trail the play? I see him trailing plays a lot when the play's 14, 15 yards downfield. And our cornerbacks, man, I don't know, man. It's disgusting.
You break it.
Disgusting. Oh, yeah, it's broke. Let me just tell you. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire Ride.
"2015 is a new year, and the rules for FHA loans have changed.
If you currently have an FHA loan, call Home Place Mortgage today.
Right now, we can refinance your current FHA mortgage without an appraisal.
Your interest rate will reduce, and so will your monthly mortgage insurance.
Call us today to start saving in 2015. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck or a truck wreck, don't let the insurance company knock you out without taking responsibility for your medical expenses, pain and suffering, and car repair. You need a fighter. I'm a former Golden Glove champion, and I will fight for you to get the money you deserve. Call Tripp and put a fighter in your corner.
Call the Walton Law Firm at 334-321-3000 or toll free at 866-321-3330. Put a fighter in your corner.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Big trucks control our highways with little to no regard for the rest of us. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that over 500,000 wrecks occur each year involving big trucks. If you or a loved one have been hit and injured by a big truck, then don't wait any longer. Call me today. I'll stand up to these big truck companies and I will fight for you.
What are you waiting for? Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store. Say, where have you been? I've been looking for you.
Well, Box, I've been at the job site measuring for some new windows and doors.
Oh, you mean the website?
No, I mean the job site where the house is actually under construction.
Oh, we could never actually leave the store and go to a job site.
That makes you a little short on service, doesn't it?
Service, free delivery, and price match guarantee. 9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you till 9 o'clock, and we'll continue to take your calls. We want to go back to the Tripp Walton Attorney at Law Hotline and welcome him a very special guest, Gary Estwick from AL.com. Gary, thanks so much for being on the program with us tonight. Hey, Gary, you with us? Let's go to the line. Gary, you with us?
Hello.
Hey, Gary, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Doing well. This is Gary Estwick with AL.com. Gary, thanks so much for being on the program with us tonight.
No problem at all. I'm hyped. I just finished watching the Muppets season premiere, so yeah, it's a pretty good night for me.
There you go. Well, Gary, you've written a couple of really interesting articles here, and we cover high school football here on Sportz Blitz and our tie with AHSAA, with the AHSA Radio Network. I'll start with Northridge's kicker. It's a very cool story about Savannah Ryer. She has lettered in 5 varsity sports, including football, and she is the kicker for Northridge High School.
Yeah, you know what interests me, it was a little bit different. We've all read stories in recent years about a girl, a teenage girl who joined a football team. What was a little bit different with this story was she had already built a reputation in South Carolina, where her parents live. You know, they're from the state, but they moved up there for business interests. So she had the reputation and then came back here and kind of started over. So she kind of went through what some girls, I guess, almost went through twice. And funny story, I think it's in the story. She talks to her high school coach, and he, she wanted to try out. He's like, okay, didn't really pay it that much mind. And then some of the players went to him and said, hey, check out this the YouTube video of her. And he went and grabbed her out of class and said, yeah, come on, you're trying out. So it was just an interesting dynamic. She did it twice. But a lot of guys, a lot of guys do once. She was able to do twice, convincing Coach Mike Smith to give her a shot, and she certainly has worked out for the team.
Yeah, she has kickoff. She's kickoff duty as well, and has nailed extra points. I think she's got through a couple of games in the season had nailed about a 27-yard field goal. And the amazing thing is in your article you talk about some of the females that have played football all the way back to 1939. Laverne Toad Wise, wearing a ballet skirt and a blouse, kicked 6 extra points for Atmore, which is now Escambia County. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Women and young girls, their participation in sports it's been there. It hasn't been on a grand level, but that's even changing. Just this season, I'm from New Orleans. There's a player playing for one of the big high schools in New Orleans, McDonald 35, Chardonnay Lamarck. She debuted this season as a reserve lineman. So it's one thing to play kicker, but now we're starting to see, some players, not a lot, but some players are going to start to say, well, hey, can I play receiver? Hey, can I play this position? And Lamarck, now she's only, this is a surprise to me, she's 5'2", 177 pounds. Now, no one's saying she's going to be the best player ever, and she's a sophomore this season. But it's baby steps, because who knows, somebody's going to see Lamar, just like somebody saw Savannah and says, hey, I can play kicker, but maybe I can be a punt returner. Maybe I can be quiet. You never know. Just like if you take two little boys that are both 4 years old, and they have the same athletic ability at 4 years old, you put one on the path to play a sport like football, and one doesn't, and you'll see how one blossoms and one doesn't. Talent goes a long way, but so does nurturing that talent. And Savannah certainly has had that. Her dad is a sports writer. I think if you see more girls having that talent nurtured, we're going to see a lot more athletes that are going to challenge, this being a boys' sport.
Well, we've got Gary Estwick on the phone with us, writer for AL.com. And Gary, that's a tremendous story. We encourage people to go out there and find that story and read it. Another great story that you've written here recently about Oak Mountain's Kai Christenberry, and I think I've gotten his name correct. But talk about that. He's a big-time player for Oak Mountain, but a very special story here revolving around him.
Yeah, talk about a guy that, he was inspiring to me. As I'm writing the story, I was inspired by this story. Here's a kid who, at age 5, or around 5, but we really don't even know, his parents dropped him off at an orphanage, and he didn't even know it was an orphanage. So dropped him off at an orphanage and left, and he hasn't talked to them since then. He has not talked to his parents, has no contact with his parents, doesn't know where they're at. He goes through, and he was born deaf. So he goes through a couple of years, or a year, I should say, with little or any communication, more gesturing than anything. Goes into foster care, and in China, where he's at, aging out of the system occurs at age 14, not age 18 as it is in the United States. So he was close to becoming another kid wandering the streets. Best case scenario, he would have found a trade. Worst case scenario, he would have been begging for money. And there's a family, the Christenberries, that had already adopted two girls from the Ukraine. They had already adopted a young boy from China, and they realized, a young boy who was deaf, and they realized quickly, if you're going to have one deaf child, you really need to have a second one, so they have some communication. And they picked a little girl, And then they got a call and said, hey, can you also consider getting this little boy? They tried, and they said, hey, if we don't find anybody through the people, the Deaf Network, because the mom is a sign language specialist, if we don't find anybody else who wants this little boy, we'll take him. They couldn't find anybody else, and they took him, and he has been a delight for the family. He's really energetic. I really think it shows a lot about his personality that he wanted to play football. He had never even seen a football game before he came to the United States. And he's not a starter at Oak Mountain. He's a reserve cornerback. He did push for a starting spot. He plays on special teams, especially punt and punt coverage and punt return. But talk about inspiring for those guys. This is not a stunt, like the coach told me. This is not a stunt. He is a legitimate player. He wants to be treated the same, and he works just as hard as anybody else. Next year, this kid is going to be playing college football at one of the deaf universities in Washington, D.C. Very inspiring story for, talk about a kid who showed up not even knowing this language. And not only is he excelling in football, but he's excelling at Oak Mountain, which is one of the better academic, high schools in the Birmingham area.
That's just a tremendous story, Gary. And, again, that's another one that we want people to go out there because these are great reads. I've been able to read both of these articles. Thought you did a tremendous job on both of them. That is just a touching story. And, sometimes you don't realize what kids battle from an early age, what they have to fight through and what they have to overcome to get to where they are. And this may be one of the most inspiring stories that I've been able to read about anybody, regardless of athlete or whatever it is. Just a truly touching story and how well he's succeeding right now. I want to slide over before I let you go, Gary, and talk about football in the Birmingham area. Hoover travels outside of the state for the first couple of games and really is not challenged, but since being back in state, they've struggled. I mean, they've won their football games, but this Oak Mountain team we're talking about here, they only beat them by 3, and they've had some other tough football games. How do you see football in the Birmingham area right now?
I just had this conversation with Josh Bean, who's my boss at AL.com, and I'm brand new. This is to Birmingham, brand new to Alabama. I've been on staff for about 3 months, and of course I'd heard of Hoover before I moved here, but I just expected them to be like a lot of top national programs. Like, again, in New Orleans, we have a school called John Curtis. John Curtis wins all their games by 35 points on average. They win by the amount that most teams are lucky if they score. And looking at Hoover, I didn't expect them to struggle as they did against Oak Mountain. I didn't expect Mountain Brook to push them. But I think if we were to ask Coach Josh Niblett the same question, and he's got a point, you can't win games based on your reputation. You've got to win based on what you do on that Friday night. And what we see is, is the armor still as strong? He sees as, hey, we're probably not as good as you think we were in the first place, but we still find a way to win. In the end, it doesn't matter whether you win by 3 points or by 30. It certainly looks a lot better when you win by 30, and we all get accustomed to seeing that from the big schools. But this will go down. Years like this will go down as a real coaching effort. When you don't have a bunch of 4 and 5 star guys, but you still find a way to win. Spain Park is up on their schedule next. Both teams have a bye this week. Let's see what Hoover's going to do next. Let's see what Hoover's going to do next week. And Spain Park is definitely going to be ready for this game. Hey, Hoover gets the best of any team they play. That's how Mountain Brook was able to push them. That's how Vestavia Hills was able to, Oak Mountain was able to push them. Let's see what happens next week. I can't wait to see that game.
Well, Gary, it's going to be interesting, and again, you're right. They have been a machine for so long, and you can be your own worst enemy when you're a really good football program because everybody just expects you to continue to be dominant, and when you don't win but by 10 points or by 3 points, people think, oh, they may be losing a little bit of their mojo, but that's not the case with Josh Niblett and that group up there. Still a very good football program. Gary, we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us tonight to discuss the 2 stories that you've written here recently and talk a little football on the high school level.
Thanks so much, guys.
Gary, thanks so much. We appreciate it. That's Gary Eswick with AL.com. Make sure you go out and read these 2 stories about Savannah Ryer and Kai Christenberry, because I'm telling you, they are just tremendous stories all the way around, and really, really good reads, whether you're a really big sports fan or not. Really, really touching stories. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR's and S&S Discount Tire, coming your way right after this.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process, from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come to our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
At Bone and Joint Specialists, there is no better feeling than to know that we have helped make someone's life better. Orthopedic surgeons Dr. Paul Goldhagen and Dr. Martha George treat all injuries and conditions related to your bones, joints, and muscles for both adults and pediatric patients, while specializing in arthritis and sports medicine. 256-329-9133 or visit us online at bonesandjoints.com. Alexander City, Wetumpka, Sylacauga, and Dadeville. Bone and Joint Specialists, getting you back into the game of life.
When a medical issue requires home health service, you or your loved one should expect the best.
Hello, this is Pam Tidwell with Lake Martin Home Health. We make everything we do all about you. With multiple offices in the area, we are always close to you, and our dedication is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us at 256-397-1440 or ask your physician for a Lake Martin Home Health referral today. We make the difference because we care.
The countdown is over and boating season is here, so now is the time to really know what the locals know. Alex City Marine and Alex City Marine South are ready for prime time with an all-time high selection of 2015 Landau pontoon. Landau pontoons offer the industry's most stylish and comfortable rear split loungers and unsurpassed tri-tune performance. Alex City Marine and Alex City Marine South, the pros the locals know, and Alabama's #1 Landau pontoon dealer. Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. About another hour left in tonight's show. We'll be able to take your phone calls throughout the night, so make sure you get them in. I know a lot of you out there have feelings on this past weekend here in the state of Alabama. Been a while since both programs lost on the same night. So we'll go to the phone lines now. Welcome in our good friend Luke Robinson, and we'll go ahead, Luke, with the Bama Blitz, sponsored by Bradbury Medical. That still gets me sometimes on the tongue twister.
Yeah, it's easy. I'm good as a network and say Bradbury Medical Center, Alabama Blitz. It rolls off the tongue if you get used to it. It's never for you anyway. It's just not what you're made for, Brett.
Yeah, I struggle saying that anyway. You're right. But Luke, just talking about Alabama, it it gets to the point where when Alabama loses a game, it's a little bit shocking. But I thought, and I want your take on this too, because I heard a stat on another radio show today that said, and you don't really think about this because Alabama's been so dominant in the way they played football, but in their last 9 games against top 15 opponents, they're 4-5, and that's just not something that you really think about. But you go back through and a lot of odd games that Alabama's been involved in with a lot of high scoring going on, and they've won a tremendous amount of these high scoring games. But football as a whole has just changed.
Well, it has changed somewhat, but there's an explanation for everything, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to make excuses or spinning this thing. I mean, look, the record speaks for itself. They're 4-5 in their last 9 games against teams, and I don't know if it's ranked teams or teams in the top 15. I can't remember exactly. But
top 15, yeah, top 15.
But if you think about it, I mean, one of the losses, of course, last year was to an Ohio State team that won the national championship. Another loss last year was to an Ole Miss team that, I mean, look, let's call it spade a spade. They played a whale of a ball game, and they gave it everything they had. Then you want to talk about another loss, 2013 at Auburn, where, I mean, shoot, everything just went Auburn's way right there at the end. And then, of course, Oklahoma in the bowl game, which that'll count in those stats. I mean, you could go down the list and pick out these games and pick them to death. But in the end, I think Alabama's lost to some pretty doggone good teams. So I'm not really quite as concerned with that quite so much as I am with Alabama's lack of identity right now. I think that's the whole thing. Is all summer long we heard that Alabama was going to get back to Alabama football. I mean, Oregon's got their own style. Texas A&M has their own style. USC does. All these teams do. But Alabama's as iconic as any of them. Play defense, run the ball, and good special teams. And right now, they're not being directed to run the ball. If you see an Alabama team that's got 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line, you've got El Tractorcito, Derrick Henry in the backfield, and you run some kind of weirdo Texas A&M style pitch to a freshman wide receiver who doesn't weigh 165 pounds, and I love him. I love Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to be great. But there's no way I'd give him the ball on the goal line when I know Ole Miss's front line has somebody like Robert Kimdichie in it. And instead, I will give it to Derrick Henry 4 times and see what happens. Things like that just bother me. You look at the end of the game where Alabama had fought. Brett, I heard you talk about it earlier. Alabama did fight in this ballgame. I'm not down on this program. I mean, a loss is going to happen sometimes. But what bothers me is with 2 minutes left, after a 30-yard scramble, Jake Coker decides to throw the ball deep where we haven't connected on a deep ball all year long. And against an Ole Miss defense that was completely gassed, we could have run a draw, a screen, a simple dive play, could have thrown it short to a tight end to get out of bounds. We still had a timeout because Ole Miss stupidly threw the ball on 3rd and whatever it was and had an incompletion to give us let us keep a timeout. And going deep, we threw an interception. There's so many things that are wrong with the team now, and I think it all stems from a lack of identity.
It does, and, I think, that Lane Kiffin, and we talked about this to start the show, and people are frustrated with Lane Kiffin. I know you just kind of voiced some frustration with his play calling inside the 5-yard line, but, Nick Saban there was forced to make a change offensively because Alabama just wasn't scoring the points that he felt like they needed to. And, I know Randy said that Lane Kiffin didn't match Alabama's style, but, Nick Saban did the interviews. He knew who he was getting when he brought Lane Kiffin in. So, I mean, I don't know if it's really fair to be that frustrated with him because that's the kind of style he's been used to running. I mean, he's not a grinded out 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of guy. Now, maybe that's where Alabama needs to be, and maybe it's not the right fit, but it's hard to just place a lot of blame on Lane Kiffin. You guys are scoring a lot of points.
Well, I think there's blame for both of them, honestly. I mean, Kiffin is what he is, and he's going to do those type plays. But, again, my understanding from everything I heard over the summer was that Kiffin had been directed, okay, don't do that type of stuff anymore. Give the ball to Derrick Henry when it's 2nd and 2 from the 2, or 2nd and goal from the 2, and we're playing a key SEC West rival. I mean, it was a crucial point in the game, and I think that it was just such a bad decision. But you're right. Saban has to take some of this blame, too, by allowing it to come to this, because I think the whole quarterback controversy is a microcosm of the whole identity issue with the team. You had Jake Coker. While he wasn't playing fantastic, and I've said on this Bama Blitz many times that I don't personally think Jake Coker is the guy to take Alabama to the promised land this year. I wouldn't have started Cooper Bateman over Jake Coker against Ole Miss without very, very good reason. And you had heard rumblings that maybe Coker was sick, maybe this happened, maybe that happened. Turns out they just started Cooper Bateman over him, and I think part of the reason was because Lane Kiffin wanted to start Cooper Bateman, because that's who Lane Kiffin wants to start. And for whatever reason, Nick Saban allowed that to happen, and I think that it really backfired and hurt a lot of things, because if you go back and look, I don't think Cooper Bateman played that poorly of a game. I thought he did okay. I mean, he had a pick himself, and there were a couple of things he could have done better, but considering it was his first start, I thought Cooper Bateman looked fine. I thought Jake Coker did okay, but it was just the nature of the beast. Look, it wasn't Alabama's game when you have one of those Miracle and Jordan Hare type catches. Alabama had brought the pressure. They essentially, for all intents and purposes, sacked the quarterback. He was able to get off a desperation heave, which I think any coach in America would tell you, don't make that play. And it just so happened to bounce off somebody's helmet and into the waiting arms of an Ole Miss receiver and scored a touchdown. And even though that happened, and even though the play later happened where the Chad Kelly doesn't necessarily go across the line, but there was an illegal man downfield that wasn't called, and they scored a touchdown there. With all those things that went against Alabama, the 2 kickoff returns that were fumbled. I mean, what team does that ever? Have you ever seen that happen in a game? That Alabama lost a turnover battle 5-0. With 2 minutes left, they still had the ball on their own 30 and elect to throw a deep ball, which we haven't connected on all year, as I said earlier. And that's what gets intercepted, and that's what cost Alabama the game. Because I think otherwise they could march down the field against that Ole Miss team, which had to be gassed against an Alabama squad that had run 100 plays.
Luke, 2 more questions for you before we let you go tonight. First off, Robert Foster, he being out on the season, how much does that hurt this offense? And secondly, where does Alabama go from here? When you look down the schedule, Alabama probably favored in most all of the games coming out outside of Georgia away. Just your thoughts as the season progresses.
I think the Georgia game is going to be really interesting. First of all, if they lose that game, who would have ever predicted Alabama would be 3-2? It's 5 games into the season. I don't think many people would have predicted that. And it's going to leave a lot of Alabama fans scratching their head, wondering what in the world's going on. And when in the end, they probably would have lost to 2 top 5 teams. But as far as Robert Foster, I think it is a big loss, certainly. I mean, he was Alabama's lead receiver. Calvin Ridley's going to have to step his game up a little bit, and I think that he is certainly capable of doing that. I would like to see more out of Verdarius Stewart, too. They've tried to go to him deep a couple of times. The timing is just so far off. They've got to work on that and get that down a little more. And where's Chris Black? As far as I know, he doesn't have a catch this year, at least not one that's memorable. So I want to see Chris Black get involved somewhere. Somebody's got to step up for Robert Foster, because he really was coming into his own, showing that 5-star promise he had when he signed a few years ago. But it's an interesting dilemma right now with Alabama, because if they get to 3-2, you wonder how the team's going to handle that, because essentially they will be out of the SEC running. I mean, I would find it hard to believe that Ole Miss would lose 3 games. So how's the team going to handle that mentally? It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, Luke, Chris Black's probably hanging out where Duke Williams and Tony Stevens are. So if you find them, you'll probably find Chris Black. And I got one more thing. You know, I've got to say this. Since it's been the kick 6, is that now the tip 6 for Ole Miss?
Listen, honestly, tip 6, the kick 6. If Brett, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and I think Alabama's lost 7 games since 2011, and it's all great. You know, and the team's been doing fantastic. I mean, I guess 10 games since 2010. I'll take it all the way back there. But you look at something like, you go back to 2010 in the Iron Bowl. I mean, what are the odds that Mark Ingram, a guy who never fumbled in college, would fumble a ball, and then the ball would travel about 20 yards down the field, hugging the sideline, and then go into the end zone for a touchback? What are the chances that you would have somebody return a kick 109 yards off an attempted field goal where you petitioned to get 1 second back on the clock? What are the chances that a ball would bounce off somebody's head and land in the waiting arms of an Ole Miss receiver, or that you fumble twice, kickoffs. I mean, again, that's just something that never happens. The way Alabama loses, the way they lose is always more memorable than the way they win.
A lot of good stuff there, Luke. We appreciate it, brother, and we'll have you back on soon, all right?
All right, buddy.
Thanks, man. And Luke Robinson, I mean, it's always something bizarre. It really is something bizarre. Bizarro. I saw that, and immediately I had people saying, tip six. I mean, everything's got to have a name with it.
Well, I told you this a couple of weeks ago, and this was before I knew that we were what we are, which is terrible. But I said, what am I most looking forward to as an Auburn fan? And that's to beat Alabama when it's not a miracle. An absolute miracle.
It will be
that
now.
you look back and you say, well, I know it, but I mean, when you actually go in and you win the ball game by 2 touchdowns.
I know.
And you don't look back and say, I needed 109 yards, or
That's
I needed
right. I know.
how in the world did
Some kind of
28-27 happen. It's been quite a while since we've had that, Brett.
Man, it's
Boy,
not coming
we've
this
been
year.
drummed many a
It
times
just didn't make
in
any
between.
sense. It just makes no sense.
Let's go back to phone lines quickly. Caller, you're on Sportz Blitz.
Hey, Randy, this is Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, how are you, buddy?
I just called with y'all nowhere. Our 8th grade team played tonight. They won.
Oh, good.
We split to 13 tonight.
Who'd they play?
The 13 did.
Who'd they play, Johnny?
Patriot, New Thing out Montgomery.
Yeah. Park Cross. No, Pike Road. Pike Road.
Yeah.
Pike Road.
Yeah. Yes, sir. They great, but they won.
That's great, Johnny. Hey, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you calling in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate the call, brother. All right, well, that's good for them. Middle school 8th grade team gets a win there. That Pike Road community is going to be, boy, it's growing down there. So they're really getting off the ground down there and building. So it's going to be interesting to see. Going to take a break. We come back. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and SNS Discount Tire right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, SNS Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. SNS Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at SNS offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, SNS offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At SNS Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Brown Nursing Home is welcoming the new year with an expansion of our rehab department to include an additional treatment room and addition of a full kitchen. We offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If a serious injury or illness has taken you away from home, let our therapy team assist you in returning home to independent living. We also offer long-term skilled nursing care. Come tour Brown Nursing Home at 2334 Washington Street in Alexander City.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. Whether you call in, click in, or walk in, I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. About 45 minutes left in tonight's show. Let's go back to the phone lines, Randy. Pick up James in Opelika.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Man, we're great, James. How are you?
Hey, good, good. Hey, I'm the one supposed to be renting, not you guys.
Hey, Brett lost it a little bit earlier, didn't he, James?
He sure did. Hey, I don't even need to say nothing tonight because you hit everything on the head.
Hey, you were proud of me, weren't you?
I was very proud of you, man. I've been trying to bring you to the side ever since Gus got there, but you didn't want to believe me.
I just waved a white flag tonight. I quit.
No, man, this is hurting me, man. But I just got a couple of things. Number one, remember I always talk about a window that Auburn has. We all, like you said the other day, that when we rank to do something, we never do anything. When we ain't ranked, we may pop up. That's the window I be talking about. We had a window last year, and Gus didn't capitalize on it. Now, I'm about to think that window is closed. So normally when a window closes, the coach, it's time for the coach to leave because his window and his time is gone. Because that's what Auburn is. Auburn is a program that just pop up every here and there. And nobody hasn't been able to capture that and make it a sustain for consistency for a minute and nobody but Pat Dot. And do Gus realize that Auburn don't mind losing, but Auburn people in Auburn school don't like being embarrassed. That's what got Tommy Tuberville out of here, embarrassing. Being beat up, team not being competitive. Well, look like we just started having that with Gus. That's what got Gene Chizzis out of here. Do Gus know that Gene Chizzis won a championship and he was gone in 2 years? So it's just a lot of problems over there. Now I'm gonna give you a prime example of one problem that you can. First of all, when Duke Williams was suspended for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was able to come back and claim his starting job in a week and a half time when them kids been over there practicing, that might have been a problem. Peyton Barber done earned the right to be named the starting running back, even though he may not be what Gus Malzahn want right now. But Gus Malzahn don't want Peyton Barber to be your starting running back for some reason. So when you see all of those things, then it is appalling. But anyway, we done bought into this fool goal, and Jay Jacobs, after 1 year, and I love Jay, done paying this man all this million. I wish we would have gave him 2 or 3 years to find out what he really was, and then give him the money. But now we stuck again to pay all this money because we do anything our coaches want. Auburn bent over backwards for our coaches, and that's why I love Bobby Lotta for a booster. When people embarrass Auburn, we are being talked about like dogs on national national TV and whatever you can call. And that's bad publicity. So, Gus, we've been fooled. Bobby Lotta don't let Auburn be embarrassed lost. So in other words, Gus, maybe not this year, we're gonna give you another year. If you continue to get beat and your team is not competitive, no matter how genius you're supposed to be, you will be out of here. And I want to ask you guys one last question. What are you guys hearing, and why don't y'all go over there and ask Gus some questions instead of letting them guys over there that be in the room like Philip and them, and whoever is in the room, letting Gus slide with some of these answers, and somebody get some balls and ask him some tough questions. Gus, like you said, Brett, what y'all been doing all summer? What's been going on? You didn't see none of this? And you can't say it's that bad because you looked pretty good to me in Louisville game. So I don't know what's going on. And something today that Andy Graham said. He said it's not real Muschamp. It's not Rodney Garner. It's the players. And I'm trying to figure out what is he talking about. We don't have talent. Is it the players? Or are they not playing enough players? Or the players not picking up Will Muschamp's scheme? Or what is it? And are y'all disappointed in Gus, or is it stop dropping with you guys and answer that question about what I just mentioned about Andy Graham? Is he talking about the talent, or are they just not picking up the scheme or smart enough or whatever? Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. You want me to answer Andy?
You go right ahead.
Talent. He looks out there, the same nemesis that are sitting here from Ellis Johnson that are out there starting and
don't make any sense.
It may not make sense, but what Andy's saying is you can't make Andy believe that a Muschamp defense, or he's not a very good defensive coach.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's his point, though.
He ain't been there long enough.
Well, he hadn't been there long enough, but at some point you have to say, I got to get a new breed in here. And you've said it a lot, but I don't know where the truth lies.
We got Tim. Who we got on the field right now? We got Tim Irvin getting a lot of playing time in the secondary. You got Byron Cowart, the number one defensive player in the country, coming in. Don't know why he's not producing right now, but he's on the field. You got a five-star defensive tackle in the middle of the field, Montravius Adams, who everybody wanted, Alabama and Georgia included. Carl Lawson's out, so don't count him, but he was a five-star. Chris Foster was a five-star player. Now, he hasn't played like that, but he was. Casanova McKenzie was a four-star linebacker. Justin Garrett was a four-star. Now, he's hurt. I know he's interchanged. Trey Williams, everybody wanted. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, everybody wanted him. At what point in time do we quit talking about this? I mean, everybody else that has 4- and 5-star talent's not getting run over. Now, I agree with the effort.
Yeah, but here's what Andy's saying, Brett. At some point, you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Who?
The players.
Everybody that we've recruited on defense just decided when they got to Auburn they weren't going to play football no more.
I don't know what the culture is there, man. I don't know.
So I go back to coach.
This could be it can be a coach, but it can be a culture too, and it can be.
Where does that start?
It starts from the top.
I know that,
but it can be within the athletic department and all the way throughout.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that I understand if we had a bunch of inferior athletes out there. If Auburn had recruited in the 30s and 40s and not had a lot of success and not recruiting to the level of Alabama and LSU, our recruiting classes have been right there. I mean, we've watched it the last 3 or 4 years, on recruiting day and getting these guys to commit and sign. And, man, we're excited. We're getting all these tough. I mean, Jeffrey Holland, a 4- or 5-star linebacker, freshman. I don't understand why they come to Auburn and poot out. Excuse my language, but that's what it is.
I don't have an answer.
It's a culture. I totally agree with you. But the culture starts from your coaching staff. And
where does Auburn rank nationally against the rush?
Terrible.
It's got to be close to the bottom.
I mean, we can pull it up in the next segment. We got to get the break. We'll come back. We'll find out. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and SNS Tire right after this.
I'm Sydney LaRue, a member of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. I'm excited to partner with Nesquik to spread the word about the proper nutrition after a workout or game. Research suggests that low-fat chocolate milk, like Nesquik, contains the ideal mix of carbohydrates to protein that can help refuel and restore exhausted muscles. That's why I refuel my body with Nesquik after tough games and practices. Refuel with Nesquik.
Refuel with Nesquik, a proud supporter of Alabama high school athletics.
The countdown is over and boating season is here, so now is the time to really know what the locals know. Alex City Marine and Alex City Marine South are ready for prime time with an all-time high selection, a 2015 Landau pontoon. Landau pontoons offer the industry's most stylish and comfortable rear split loungers and unsurpassed tri-tune performance. Alex City Marine and Alex City Marine South, the pros the locals know, and Alabama's #1 Landau pontoon dealer.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization, wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat, full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck or truck wreck, don't let the insurance company knock you out without taking responsibility for your medical expenses, pain and suffering, and car repair. You need a fighter. I'm a former Golden Glove champion, and I will fight for you to get the money you deserve. Call Tripp and put a fighter in your corner.
Call the Walton Law Firm at 334-321-3000 or toll free at 866-321-3330. Put a fighter in your corner.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Buy a new 2015 Chrysler 200 Limited for as low as $19,999. Save $4,800 on the purchase of a new 2015 Dodge Charger SXT. Or save over $6,000 on all Ram 1500 crew cab trucks. And nothing says summer fun like the all-new Jeep Renegade. Now in stock.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and SNS Discount Tire. And Randy, the last segment, you and I will be here. We've got some great interviews coming up to close out the show. Andy Graham and Brian Matthews will be on a little bit to talk about the state of Auburn, what we've been talking about here. And then Bart Edens will be on the program. Andy was able to catch up with him. So that was a great interview. Enjoyed listening to that this afternoon. But trying to pull up team defensive stats, and I'm not doing a really good job of
Auburn's dead last in the SEC against the rush.
Well, that might be the biggest no-brainer statement that's ever made in 10 years on this program. If you the first play of the LSU game pretty much sealed that deal. I don't know. I mean, in all seriousness, this team went from a month ago being preseason favorite unanimously in the media to win the conference. This team, what we're watching right now, that can't score any points and can't stop anybody. Cannot stop anybody that's worth any salt. Jacksonville State should have won that football game, and they missed a golden opportunity. And if John Gross had it to do over on 3rd and 2, he would have run wide. He would have never gone up the middle because they wouldn't have stopped that, and he'd have run the clock out, and that would have been the ball game, and Auburn would have one win right now on the schedule. They'd be 1-2. So Sean White, I don't know, breath of fresh air. We'll see. 6:30 kickoff against Mississippi State Saturday night at Jordan-Hare Stadium. You know, Auburn's got one of two directions they can go in. They can tank. They can pack it in after Saturday night, or they can try to turn the season around with a win against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's probably an appropriate team to be coming in right now, Randy. They are beatable. They've got Dak Prescott's a tremendous quarterback. He's probably the best quarterback in the conference right now. He's a Heisman candidate, but they're not very good in certain spots, and they can be beat. So
you want this?
I'd like to see it. So,
okay, team rushing stats, SEC. Guess how many yards Florida's allowing a game rushing?
How many?
55 yards a game. Now Auburn's dead last at 200. Auburn's giving up 270 yards rushing a game.
That's just rushing.
Rushing.
That is just rushing.
Guess how many yards the next closest is giving up?
145.
220.
Oh,
Auburn's giving up 50 more yards rushing per game.
Who is it?
South Carolina.
Where's Vanderbilt?
Vandy's only giving up 117 yards rushing a game.
I don't feel very much. I guess it's through the air, but I mean, not very good either. But
if Auburn doesn't win Saturday, do they win an SEC game?
Got a chance to beat Arkansas. They're terrible too. No, they are, but we got to go on the road for that. So I mean, it doesn't look very good. So, I mean, the discussion continues of why there's a gap and why there's such a drop off every 2 years. Why? James made a great point, and the last thing I say tonight, why there cannot be sustainability, why you recruit at such a high level and then you pop up in 2 years. Auburn will be back in 2 years challenging for a national championship. It's just the way it is. We're thinking it's gloom and doom right now. Just hold on. 2017's coming, everybody. 2017, Auburn will be challenging for a national championship. And I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek and jokingly. 2010, what did we do? Win a national championship. What did we do in 13? Gus Malzahn, new coach, nobody expected anything. Auburn went all the way to the end, should have won the game. Gave it away at the end. We're 2015, about time for us to bottom out again. Expectations high? Let's go tank it, boys. Let's go prove everybody we can rise from the ashes again. Because that's what we're about to have to do. I mean, it's this no excuse. We all knew we were ahead of schedule in 2010. We knew it was smoke and mirrors because you got Cam Newton who won a Heisman. Knew there'd be a little drop-off, didn't know it cost Gene Chizik his job. Then we were right back in 13. But why can't you sustain from there? Gus Malzahn came in, established his – boy, everybody was in such an uproar just a couple of years ago about his up-tempo offense. They went to the NCAA trying to change rules. Did they forget about all that? I'm serious. And we have missing players, too. Somebody please send out an APB for Tony Stevens, Marcus Davis. Ricardo Lewis is gone missing now. He can't seem to get. I mean, and he was all the way through to. And Duke Williams. I mean, where's Jason Smith? Last week, Gus Malzahn said, "Man, we're establishing. We got to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. We're going to get Jason Smith the ball." How many times did he touch it Saturday?
He get it once.
And Stanton Truitt, out of the blue, catches like 20 passes. I mean, I know it's exaggerating, but every time I turn around, it was Stanton Truitt. You won't see any more of him the rest of the year. Him and Kerryon Johnson.
You were one of a kind tonight.
They're just
you made gone. James happy.
They're gone. Why wouldn't you get Jason Smith the football?
Well, I think if you read into the press conference today, he's getting snaps at quarterback, and
well, he said that 2 weeks ago about him getting the ball more. He ain't touch it down in Baton Rouge, not one time.
Yeah, but there may be a different look though, Brett. You may be looking at him getting some real. Not just Wildcat snaps, some actual quarterback snaps at some point.
That's right, baby. I'm all in. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
Bradbury Medical Equipment serves the Lake Martin area's needs with durable medical equipment and respiratory care. Bradbury Medical Equipment is home-owned and operated, providing skilled, qualified, and professional people to set up and deliver all of their equipment. Bradbury Medical Equipment provides 24-hour service and will file all insurance claims, making claims trouble-free. Located on Airport Drive in Alexander City, Bradbury Medical Equipment, a history of neighborly care. Call them today at 256-215-8654.
Attention drivers, J&M Tank Lines is currently looking for local and over-the-road Class A CDL drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Our over-the-road drivers are home at least twice a week and can make $1,250 or more each week. You don't need a hazmat or tank endorsement. We also offer health insurance as low as $9 per week and many other great benefits. So come join the winning team. J&M Tank Lines. Call Jeff Sandlin today at 256-245-3933.
C&T Electric offers a wide range of installation and electrical repair services, as well as 24-hour emergency services. Our knowledgeable experts only use quality parts and electrical fixtures that we feel confident in putting our brand name behind. You're the most important person in our business, and we strive to exceed your expectations with every interaction. At C&T Electric, we're dedicated to providing you with the service you deserve and the quality you expect.
Over the years, S&S Tires has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Lila's Engraving, celebrating 20 years of business in Alexander City, is proud to supply the Lake Martin area with all of its trophies, plaques, name tags, and any other engraving needs. Lila's also specializes in custom framing of any size picture or portrait. Lila's Engraving has been and continues to be a proud sponsor of Lake Martin area athletics, so go by and see or call Lila's Engraving at 256-234-6004.
Locally at 334-887-3401. We'll take up your phone call. We'll pick up your phone calls in the final segment of today's show. But right now we want to go to the AO Tourism Hotline and welcome in former Auburn Tiger Bart Eddings. Bart, we really appreciate you taking some time to join us today.
Oh, guys, thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, just kind of, if you wouldn't mind, bring us up to date about your life since you left Auburn. Of course, you played from 06 to 2010, but just kind of bring us up to date about what you're doing now.
Well, down in Mobile, Alabama, really, the real world is a lot different than college football. It has some similarities. Sometimes it'll hit you in the mouth when you least expect it. But down here in Mobile, Alabama, selling commercial insurance, and just celebrated my son's first birthday on August 22nd. So we are just practically living the dream down here, loving it.
Well, congratulations on that. Certainly, the Eddings family, certainly kind of a legacy at Auburn. How are Brett and your father, the Eddings family?
Yeah, they are good. They are good. Dad's being dad and selling real estate in Montgomery, and Brett's in Auburn, and had excited to head up to the game here real soon. So it's definitely one of those things to where I've always enjoyed hearing different stories. Sometimes they're different versions, but different stories of just past playing experiences with a lot of their ex-teammates, and it's something really special to kind of share that common bond with your brother and your father.
Well, your career at Auburn spanned, like I said, from 2006. I believe you redshirted that year, but a part of that,
yes, sir,
2010 national championship team. It went through a lot of turmoil, of course, coaching change in 2008, but be able to rise to that level in 2010. Just talk a little bit about that, about your time at Auburn, and maybe overcoming the challenges of having to go through a coaching change.
Well, it's one of those things, and Coach Malzahn preached this the first day he was here, is he told us, he said, guys, I promise you, we will be successful. But there's a few key points that y'all need to do in order for that to happen. He goes, one, you need to work your tail off. He goes, we will be more physical than anybody else that we play. He goes, but most importantly, you guys are going to have to buy into this. And we're going to have to, we're just going to have to be all in and sell out every single practice, every single rep, every single game. And, you know, it's funny that the more you do that in practice, it's not just going through the motions. It becomes what you do in just in everyday life and workouts and school and everything else. And so they Coach Malzahn definitely brought in a mindset to the Auburn offensive program, and you know, it's something else in 2010 when you buy in and you believe in each other, and you get back to back and fight for each other and fight for Auburn. It's definitely something. It's a winning combination.
Well, Bart, you know, unfortunately, your career probably didn't go exactly the way you wanted it to. You dealt with so many injuries. It seemed like one after another, and you look at a guy like Carl Lawson now at Auburn, a guy that's got so much talent, so much ability, but just cannot seem to stay on the field. It seems like it's one injury after another. How do you deal with something like that in your college career?
Well, the good thing for Carl Lawson is he is a heck of a lot more of a better athlete than I ever was. So he's got that going for him. But you know, it's pretty much twofold if you think about it. One, you just have to believe that God's taking you on this right path and the world's mysterious ways, and you just got to follow that. But secondly, we've got some of the best medical trainers down there that are taking care of him. You got Dr. Andrews that comes down, so he's in good hands, and they're taking care of him. The coaching staff, to the equipment people, to the medical staff, everybody's taking care of them, and they're doing the right thing. It's just one of those things to where, and I learned it. It's a lot better to be smart than dumb tough. So, you know, if it takes you staying out 2 more weeks instead of trying to come back and push it, then long term it's a lot better choice.
Well, Bart, there's one question I always thought about. I remember you when you were recruited to Auburn. I believe by some services you were a five-star defensive lineman, but of course you end up transitioning to offensive line when you get to Auburn. What went into that? What went into that decision to switch positions?
It was a group effort. You know, I had I think my 3rd knee surgery at that point in time when they switched me over 2nd or 3rd. They all kind of run together. But it was a group effort between Coach Dunn and Coach Price and Coach Null. And they said, Bart, you know, we're thinking about moving you to offensive line. What's your thoughts? And it was plain and simple for me. If this helps the team, I'm in. And they said, all right, well, we're moving you to offensive line. I said, yes, sir. And Coach Null handed me the playbook, and I walked out of his office. So it was it's not as dramatic as some people like to think or imagine, but it was definitely it was definitely the right choice, because after that I got to meet Jeff Grimes and work with Coach Malzahn, and that was truly a blessing.
Well, having played in that Malzahn offense, when you look at this 2015 team, obviously not the start that Auburn wanted. They are going to make a quarterback change this weekend. Sean White has been announced as the starter Saturday. You know, what do you see as the problems that are a part of this 2015 team, and are they fixable?
Well, if you really think about it, even when we won our national championship year, you're going to have in a football season, you're going to have some bumps in the road. It's how you respond to those bumps in the road, and I think the coaching staff is definitely going to correct that, and I think they're going to be just fine. You know, it's one of those things to where you never really know what's going to happen. Sometimes the offense does horrible, and the defense picks it up. Sometimes the defense does horrible, and the offense picks it up. Sometimes the defense and offense are okay, but just dominate. It's a 4-quarter game. You've got a bunch of games in the season. I'm just glad we're doing this now and not at the end, because there's definitely little things that we can fix. And you know, I'm excited to see Sean White get out there and sling the ball. I've heard a lot of great things, but practice and SEC play are completely different. But if the coaches have confidence in them and are going to put them out there, then I've got confidence in them, and I'm excited to see the kid play.
How does a QB change like this in the middle of the season? Certainly in 2008, Auburn changed quarterbacks a couple of times, but how does this affect the team? I mean, do guys talk about it? Is there well, just overall, how does it affect the team?
Well, I mean, every team's different. Also, I mean, there were years where you would talk about stuff, and then there were years where it's just like getting an offensive lineman moved or getting a receiver change. So it's really depends on the attitude and the mindset of the team. If they've got faith in Sean White and they feel good about him, then that's that. It really depends on the team's mindset and how they respond to sudden changes. And, like I said before, if Malzahn says, hey, this guy can play and we're going to put him in against the SEC team instead of letting Jeremy Johnson play against the SEC team and then putting him in, either in the off week or against San Jose State, then that says volumes for Sean. So, it's one of those things that the coaches have confidence in them and the players need to have confidence in them, and that they just need to go out and play Auburn football.
Well, Bart, we certainly appreciate you taking some time for us today. We certainly wish you the best. Congratulations on your family, and wish you nothing but continued success.
Yes, sir. Thank you. War Eagle.
War Eagle to you. That's Bart Eddings, former Auburn Tiger. Certainly thanking him for being on Sports Call this afternoon. Up against it.
"2015 is a new year, and the rules for FHA loans have changed.
If you currently have an FHA loan, call Home Place Mortgage today.
Right now, we can refinance your current FHA mortgage without an appraisal.
Your interest rate will reduce, and so will your monthly mortgage insurance.
Call us today to start saving in 2015.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service, always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Right now, Jacob is only thinking about this game. He's not thinking about the clavicle injury he sustained last football season, or the subsequent surgery and weeks of physical therapy. He's back in the game. With 3 orthopedic surgeons and a department dedicated to physical therapy, rehabilitation, and sports medicine, Russell Medical Center gets you back in the game for another winning Wildcat season. Orthopedic medicine at Russell Medical Center.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why Steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Find your Steel outdoor products and more at the new Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. We are your dealer for Nature's Miracle state-of-the-art water filtration systems, providing sales and installation of systems for your whole house or under sink. Join our Diamond Club and enjoy many benefits and services while saving money and getting priority service scheduling. We offer financing, and our services include a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. All our technicians are trained, background tested, drug screened, and wear photo IDs to ensure your safety and peace of mind. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Up your phone calls in the next segment, but right now we're going to go to the AO Tourism Hotline and welcome in our good friend Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com. Brian, how's your week going?
It's going pretty good, man. How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty well. Let's just kind of jump right into this. Of course, the big news today, Sean White will start against Mississippi State this Saturday. Our question of the day today on Sports Call was, is Gus Malzahn making the right move starting Sean White this Saturday?
Absolutely. I felt like he needed to do this a little bit sooner, but it is definitely the right move to do this now. Jeremy Johnson, for whatever reasons, has just struggled to be in the spotlight, to be that number one guy, to be the starter. He's had some confidence issues, some anxiety issues, whatever they are, and this offense can't go without a quarterback. They can't get it done, and now Sean White's going to get his chance, and I think Gus did the right thing, making this move and going ahead and announcing this move. I thought it was really important that he did that. I think this changes the whole outlook on the Auburn football team leading up to the Mississippi State game. I think this makes fans more interested, more hopeful, more into this game. I'm now expecting an electric crowd at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Saturday night for the SEC home opener. If he hadn't made this move or he hadn't announced this move and played his little secretive games he likes to play sometimes, I think you would have seen a different type of atmosphere at Jordan-Hare.
Yeah, there's always going to be questions. Was it too soon? Is it too late? Do you think it was a mistake not playing White in the second half against LSU?
I would have played him, but, there's degrees of mistakes. I don't think it was a huge mistake or, it was the worst thing ever. But, yeah, I would have given him some experience. I think that would have been good to get his feet wet and, not make his first college game, the first snap of a really important SEC matchup against a Mississippi State team, which has a defense coordinator, Manny Diaz, who does a lot of unconventional things, likes to dial up different blitzes and different ways to confuse quarterbacks. So it's going to be a really tough first matchup for Sean White.
Well, Jeremy Johnson, obviously, people are bringing into question now Gus Malzahn's, ability to evaluate a quarterback. How can he be so wrong about Jeremy Johnson? But pretty much everybody in the country was wrong about Jeremy Johnson, at least up to this point. So I'm not sure how much you can factor into that. But just as your perception being around the team, certainly you're much closer to it than any of us are. Have you ever had a sense, it was Jeremy, always considered the undisputed leader of this team going forward? Did you think the team is as surprised as everybody else going into this?
Well, I think two things. Being a leader never came natural to Jeremy. That's something they talked about and worked on and really pushed during the off season. I'm not sure how well he ever adapted to that. But there sure was a lot of talk that he had become a good leader and that the team was responding to him in a positive fashion. But, as far as Jeremy Johnson, not being able to handle the pressure or having the type of showing on the field that he did the first 3 games, totally came as a total surprise to me. I think Gus Malzahn and Brett last year were surprised, and I think his teammates were surprised at what happened. And, sometimes at the quarterback position, it's the toughest position to play. It's the toughest position to evaluate. And sometimes you don't know, exactly what you got until you put that quarterback, under the lights, put them in the arena and, test them, against another defense going full speed and mixing things up against them.
Well, Brian, if Sean White is able to give Auburn a spark, if he does get the offense going and is able to score some points this Saturday, certainly that would be a very good thing, and it would certainly bring some excitement back to the game. But after watching Auburn just get totally embarrassed against LSU, not be able to in any way slow down LSU's running game. When Leonard Fournette is averaging 12 yards a carry, it goes beyond just X's and O's. When you put 9 men in the box and you can't stop the run, I mean, were we that physically overmatched against LSU?
Oh, well, yeah, on the field they were, but I think there was more to it than that. I think that's what you're sort of alluding to. You know, I agree. But I think going back to the quarterback situation, I think having a quarterback that plays well and an offense that starts scoring points, it has a positive effect on the entire team. So I think that would be good, not just for the offense, of course, but for the defense if someone can play well. But back to the defense, they don't have a lot of options as far as personnel. You know, they can make some changes. You can give some younger linebackers, more snaps, more opportunities or something. But, you know, up front on that defensive line, they have, they've got what they got to work with. And they're going to be without Cole Lawson now for an extended period, which is not good. And they're just going to have to find a way to get some of those guys to play a little bit better and play with a little bit more intensity and get a little bit better play, from everybody, from all 11 on that team. There's not one guy on Auburn's defense that could have walked out of Tiger Stadium and be thinking that they played a great game. You know, all 11 really failed in their jobs on Saturday.
Brian, I'm not sure you had to go any further than when I said about the Auburn defense. You said, I think everybody has that pretty much that same feeling right now. But you mentioned Carl Lawson. I mean, it just gut wrenching. This poor kid is having to go through this. But is there any kind of anything right now?
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water, stocked with name brands like O'Brien Wakeboards, Airhead Tubes, and Costa Del Mar sunglasses. Stop by for lunch. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Welcome to Baumhauer's, food fans.
It's game on, starting with a cup of homemade gumbo and cold beer on tap from our lively bar, coupled with a mouth-watering top choice steak.
Oh man, always fresh, always popular, hot Bama Brown and Alabama wild shrimp, hot off the grill. That'll be tough to beat.
If you haven't been to Baumhauer's lately, you're really missing out on all the action.
Baumhauer's, legendary food, legendary fun.
Big trucks control our highways with little to no regard for the rest of us. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that over 500,000 wrecks occur each year involving big trucks. If you or a loved one have been hit and injured by a big truck, then don't wait any longer. Call me today. I'll stand up to these big truck companies and I will fight for you.
What are you waiting for? Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
No pest is too big or too small for Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Protect your home or business today from insects, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Lex uses only the latest state-of-the-art technology and equipment to solve your pest problem, including the environmentally friendly Centricon termite baiting system. Lex has been servicing the Lake Martin area for over 35 years, and he has a full staff on hand. Call Lex today, even if it's just a question. 256-234-6162. Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Smart solutions to your pest problems.
6'5", 230. Jeremy Johnson.
On the rollout, Johnson, and looks long, and it's caught. Touchdown!
New determination.
Oh, Duke Williams made the catch. He stretched out as far as he could go. Lowers his shoulder and sends the LSU defender to the ground.
And the return of the boom.
And here you have the Will Muschamp effect. Everywhere he's been, he's at a top 10 defense.
The Auburn Tigers are ready to proud.
Touchdown, Auburn!
Lake Martin's home for Auburn football for over 10 years. Kowaliga Country, 97.5.
This is Coach Gus Malzahn of the Auburn Tigers on your official Auburn IMG Sports Network station, Kowaliga Country, 97.5.